So according to prima facie, I didn't know what prima facie is until this morning actually, but it seems that Chidimma Adetshina's mother may have committed fraud in 2021. And by calculations, it seems that Chidimma at that time would have been an infant. And it also revealed that her mother is actually a Mozambican and the father, as we all already knew, is Nigerian. I'm one of the few people that thought that the mother is actually South African, and I was reading different opinion pieces and stories and comments on some of the videos that I've done so far, mentioning the fact that actually she is born in South Africa, but the mother is from Mozambique and the father is Nigerian. Now, prima facie alleges that because the mother is the one who is involved in the fraud, then fortunately or unfortunately, that is for Chidimma, she is not implicated in the fraud because she is not the one directly who committed this fraud. Now the question lies after that is, what happens with her citizenship status? Does Nigeria give her citizenship? Does Mozambique give her citizenship? Or if one of these two countries do not give her citizenship, and her citizenship is taken away, so to speak, by South Africa, then to an extent, I think it would be wrong, and in terms of human rights laws, it would be against the law. So she could actually have a case and win that case because she is a human being and she needs to have a nationality. The debate now may be which country has to give her nationality. Is it South Africa, is it Mozambique, or is it Nigeria? And this is based on the fact that the parents are from these two countries and she is born in the country South Africa. But then again, we bring into question that the mother is one that committed fraud. So the mother obviously is not a citizen of the country. She got that citizenship through fraud. This brings me into the recent story that also came up, and it was about Judy Zuma, who left the Home Affairs in 2021, I think around July, and she was under investigation and she has now been arrested for providing fraudulent documents for people who didn't actually qualify to get these documents, and mostly it being foreigners. It brings back again the conversation of foreign nationals and illegal immigrants in the country. But now we also have to look at the other side of things. Most of the foreigners who are in the country who obtained their papers illegally were not working alone. They are working with people who are within the departments. So who is to be punished and who is not to be punished? Thankfully, this lady Judy Zuma has been arrested and she's being charged, and last I checked, and I was just skimming through the article, she's being sentenced to 12 years, and I don't know if they are running these years around as a sentence that is going to be running concurrently, but she has been charged for corruption and for fraud. She's made about 700 big ones, Baba, 700K through fraud with Home Affairs. And you know, here's the thing. Judy Zuma is the one who got caught, right? She's the one who got arrested. But let's be honest, she's just one person from one Home Affairs department in that particular municipality that she was in. How many more do we think that are there in these Home Affairs departments, and also in the DLTC? This would be the traffic department. There is so much fraud happening, there is so much corruption happening in these departments, and what pisses me off about this is that actually now it's getting more and more exposed, and one would think that, well, it's because there's new members in the leadership in parliament that are ensuring that such things are coming out. So it goes to show, before that, ANC was just really enabling corruption. Because can you think about it this way? If I am your boss, there's 10 of you working for me, and I am your boss, and I am clearly corrupt. I am clearly what should be considered as a criminal. The rest of you are watching me up top, making all the money, getting all the money from my corrupt ways, from my criminal activities. and I'm giving you a salary this much. And you see that, well, our boss is making a big amounts of money with the corruption that he is involved in. It is not far-fetched to think that you, as my subordinates who are working for me, will also be involved in corruption indirectly or directly. That is something that is happening within the country or within the company, that is. So we go back to the Chidimma issue. Okay, clearly her citizenship is questionable. If there's fraud that happened there, her citizenship is questionable because the father is Nigerian. The mother is Mozambican, obtained her papers illegally. The first thing, I think, fair. It should be fair that she actually removes herself, and not that Miss South Africa remove her, but she removes herself from the competition, the pageant, because now it's not longer just about the corruption, but it is also about protecting herself in a sense. And not to say protecting herself physically, but her mental health and her emotions, because she's about to go through the grinder with people who don't want to see her there, who didn't want to see her there. I, in my previous video, mentioned that I'm just going to wait before I actually give my opinion. And hello, Kat Mole. Hey, Kat, you are always on my live videos, eh? My opinion at that time was not yet solid, it was not yet decided. And my opinion now is, given the fact that there was corruption in her parents' citizenship, particularly the mother, and she is not implicated, given the fact that this happened, then we can question her citizenship. And with questioning her citizenship, we can also question her position in Miss South Africa. Now, Miss South Africa is a private company, I believe, and although it may be benefiting as well from taxpayers' money, taxpayers also have the right to say, well, if it happens that Miss South Africa gets sponsorships or it gets some funding or capital from within the government, then that is our money that is going to this said competition. And therefore, I think it's only right that she removes herself, or she is removed by Miss South Africa from the competition. This is based on my opinion, looking at the facts that are already there. Other people's opinions were based on representation, mentioning the fact that she seems to represent Nigeria more than she represents South Africa, and she's going to represent herself in Miss World. And when she gets to Miss World, clearly by the way she has behaved so far, she's going to be representing Nigeria instead of South Africa. Although she got onto that platform, the stepping stone being South Africa and Miss South Africa. So I think maybe it's better if she goes to Miss Nigeria, wins that, or is in the top 3 and then gets to make it to Miss World. If she does that, kudos to her. I saw a video of DJ Sbu a few days after this was trending, and I think he was calling out South Africans for saying maybe they were too discriminatory against this woman. And now that the facts have come out, he has apologized, which is a good thing that he has actually apologized about what had happened, and he realized the errors of his ways. But now I am talking myself as well as a South African. I think representation would have mattered a bit as well. But we also can't ignore the fact that there has been other Miss South Africans who are also of, I think, foreign descent. We've had Europeans, we've also had Asians. I just can't remember their names from head because I'm not really someone who watches Miss South Africa. Like every year when Miss South Africa comes out, I'm like, oh, Miss South Africa is still a thing. But we can also talk about sports. In sports we had Tendai Mtawarira, which Tendai Mtawarira is clearly Zimbabwean, and she was playing for Amapokopoko. And he was clearly representing South Africa in Amapokopoko. So the argument may be, why is it when it comes to sports, then it is okay for a foreign national to play for the national country? And I don't think that Tendai has come out to say that I represent Zimbabwe, or to say I represent South Africa, but clearly he represents the Springboks, and the Springboks represent South Africa. So, yeah, in my opinion, yeah, she should be removed. Simple as that. She should be removed. There's no xenophobia about this. We are now speaking facts. And the facts are her citizenship is questionable. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth. It's about right or wrong. And with sports as well, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it seems to be something that is being allowed and has been allowed for a long time. So yeah, about that one, I'm not really big on sports. I'm more into combat sports. And when it comes to combat sports, there's Franz Mlambo. Franz Mlambo is a South African fighter who, last I checked, was fighting in Bellator, and he was not representing South Africa fully because he was representing the training camp of the country that he was coming from, and I think it was in Australia, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I watched that guy fight. So, but then he would also go on to stage, meaning the circle, the octagon, with a South African flag, clearly representing South Africa. And I don't think that if Chidimma, let me just say her name, the surname is Young Shy. If she was to get to Miss World, I don't think she would proudly hold the South African flag. She would proudly hold the Nigerian flag, probably, because I think she loves her father and is proud of whom her father is, which is great on the father for being a present father in that way. So we can actually admire that as well. But come on, but then we also have to tackle or talk about the corruption that is happening in this country, man. Chidimma, by the family's permission, has now been exposed. Her parents, the mom, has been exposed of potential fraud. And now it leads to a more important and bigger conversation. Let's forget about representation. Let's talk more, now a bigger conversation. The corruption that has been happening in the country has allowed these things to keep on going. It has allowed many illegal immigrants to be in the country legally, and a lot of them are doing good. Of course, they're not criminals, they're not doing any crimes here, but they can do crimes because it is easier for them. So the criminals here in terms of illegal immigration would be the officials that assist the illegal immigrants to get citizenship, and also the illegal immigrants. Deportation, I think, is not enough, because if you just deport them, they know that if we go to South Africa illegally, the worst that is going to happen to us is deportation. That's all. So obviously they're going to be confident to come back at another time and try again. Recently here in Davidton, I live in Benoni, and in Davidton a few days ago, about 60 Ethiopians were found in a house. 60, none of which had papers for them to be in the country. And as they were here in the country, the story goes that allegedly they were waiting for their papers. And the question is, you are waiting for your papers how from this house when Home Affairs is in Benoni CBD? Why are you not at the Home Affairs in Benoni CBD getting your papers? And why didn't you get your papers before you came into South Africa? And another thing that I saw, I think last week, about 90, probably 90 or less Ethiopians and Somalians whom were found to be selling counterfeit products in their tuck shops. Counterfeit products in their tuck shops. Their papers counterfeit. So you see, it's not just Home Affairs that is affected, but it's also the communities that these people have their businesses in. Because you can imagine, if I'm buying counterfeit products that go into my body that I ingest, what are the potential dangers of me eating these products? That's another conversation that we have to have. And unfortunately, there's a trend that when we have these conversations, South Africans are labeled as xenophobic. But it's not xenophobia, guys, come on. We see these things. More and more is being exposed every day. More and more is being exposed every day. And if we don't talk about these things, they keep on happening. If we as citizens of the country, and also I think even legal immigrants in the country, if we don't talk about these things, they're going to continually affect all of us. They're going to continually affect all of us negatively. Because if I am South African criminal who goes to Botswana, which recently in some of my comments I've been hearing that there's South Africans who are in Botswana doing armed robberies every day. If I am a South African national who goes to Botswana illegally and I commit crimes there and I don't have papers, do you know how simple it is for me to just go there, commit my crimes, do what I want to do, and then come back to South Africa? They will never catch me. They will never know who I am because their system is unaware of who I am. So, yeah, for now, like I really just wanted to talk more on the Chidimma story, but then it leads into so many questions and so many discussions that have to be had. So I'll be making more videos, maybe doing lives as well. And yeah, that's about my opinion for now. I've got so many things that I want to say, but as you can see, I'm at my shop. I have to work. Let me just read the comments. There's been one guy commenting, Kat Mole, he comments on all the videos. Yep, she needs to leave. Simple. It's called Miss South Africa for a reason. I agree. It's not right in sports as well. I hear you. Their biscuits kill babies. Whoa. This goes into these shops that sell counterfeit products. Counterfeit products can come with many illicit or dangerous ingredients. These ingredients leading to people getting sick. And obviously for babies, for example, their immune system is not yet that tough to actually withstand some of the poison that is happening instantly. So, yeah, they might die. No type of Botswana will find you, Baba. Yeah, Botswana will find you because their security system is a bit better than ours. The people are more dedicated to their jobs. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't criminals that go there to do their crimes and actually survive and come back. Because if these criminals keep on going to Botswana to do the crimes, apparently, based on the comments that I've been getting, it means that there has been enough who got away with the crimes, and therefore, again, it leads to some taking the risk, being confident enough to take the risk to go into these countries and commit their crimes. So I think, yeah, that's it. It's not a very long live video. The next live video, I think I'll go for an hour. Just don't know if I'm capable of talking for that long to myself or to Kat. Kat, your name is Tabu. Anyway, yeah. Let me know what you think. If you see this in the replay, leave your comment. Let's have a conversation. Salute.